And we come to the end of Disney Sitcom Month, and if you're preparing yourself for, like, a grand finale with, like, the worst episode, you're probably gonna be disappointed. And we have come to the end of my Disney Channel month. Back then, this was a review that brought back Alien Origin and started a month-long thing where I had to fight some inner demons, which I may have to do again soon, not sure. This was also the review where I got covered in cheese. No shit, I spent more on that cheese than buying all 5 of these episodes combined. But anyway, Girl Meets the Bay Window, probably the best thing I reviewed on Kids Are Smarter Than This. It tries so hard. It really wants to tell a good message about change and to make you feel, but because of that, it feels forced and just comes across as melodramatic. And it was also mostly pointless, because the very next episode, the second season finale, also tried to tackle the subject of change and did it way better. This is Girl Meets Legacy. It begins with the girls in the new bay window as Lucas shows up, reading off some index cards he tries to get them to talk about what happened on the roof on New Year's Eve, which was like 5 episodes ago. Well, better late than never, I guess. If you're wondering what it is, love triangle bullshit.
Do we have to talk about this?
We have to make some decisions.
We have chosen to completely forget about this. He's in my room!
You have to make some decisions.
Already a pretty big laugh. Lucas says that his feelings for the two are different and complicated, which, yeah, that's a pretty relevant thing for teenagers to go through. After the theme song, Corey is teaching about legacy, but there's a goddamn goose in the room.
Oh, of course, the Einstein Academy Goose. Why is it on Farkle's desk?
Einstein captured Farkle.
It was their end of the year prank.
So since they took our mascot...
We took theirs, and now we're even.
No, guys, didn't you see that one episode of That's So Raven? This isn't gonna end well.
It's your last week of school. This is my last chance to teach you something.
No, don't worry, Corey. There's still 1 season left.
What is your legacy?
Corey, they're 15, not 50. Farkle manages to escape, and thank goodness, because the humor was starting to become scarce.
Oh, please. Farkle cannot be replaced by a goose. Farkle is unique and one of a kind. Ha! You don't know me.
Riley is upset at Corey for not teaching her that life gets harder as you get older. Listen here, you little brat, these petty little middle school problems ain't shit. Wait until you hit your 20s, then come crying to your parents about it.
Look, you guys are both going to be fine, and there is nobody stronger than Maya. Nothing can break her. I just don't see it.
Yes, the girl from a broken home who relies on your daughter to not rob a bank is unbreakable. She's also upset about not being taught enough, and once Lucas comes in with some more note cards, but quickly puts them away, saying he just wants to be friends with both of them. Now, of course, this doesn't exactly go as well as planned.
Snap out of it. Get in here. What are you doing?
We value our friendship too much to look at each other.
I always wonder what the other students think about the main 4, given that they don't have all the context usually. So Corey gives one more assignment to figure out what they will give back, their legacy.
Lucas,
I'm dying here!
what are you grateful for?
That I have 2 hot chicks fawning over me? Maya says goodbye to Miss Castle in a really sweet scene, even more sad when you know this will be the last time she appears in the series. In fact, this does bring back those feelings of saying goodbye to some of my favorite teachers on the last day of school. Yeah, they weren't friends, but you saw them every day, and not having that anymore is pretty sad.
I always try and make sure this bench here is polished up and looking nice and inviting for you to sit in.
Why?
But this bench stays right here. And all the problems of the universe get decided on it.
Oh god, I think my neighbors are cooking onions again. Riley is nervous about going to high school, and the other 3 come in to learn one more lesson.
You guys grew up so fast.
I know, they would have graduated last year. Well, like, hey, they wouldn't have graduated given that all the ceremonies were canceled, but they would be leaving high school last year. Corey decides to test them.
Question 1. What's the secret of life?
Jesus, Matthews, they're 15. Don't go asking them super psychological questions like that.
Farkle. Canada.
Our greatest allies are the people right next to us.
Yeah, I don't think Canada considers us much of an ally anymore. God, the show ended just before Trump became president. So they all learn about the magic of friendship and everyone feels better.
This is going to be the greatest test of your friendship yet.
We're gonna need some good teachers, Matthews.
Seriously, those guys need to quit it with the onions. My eyes are getting watery. They decide to leave something for the incoming kids by fixing up the old bench. Oh my god, this episode even has them remodeling of an important piece of furniture. Remember, Girl Meets the Bay Window was the previous episode. They must have really wanted to do it better.
I
I am a high school graduate with 3 days of college under my belt. And if I hadn't taken neurobiology, perhaps I'd still be there. So take classes you understand, honey.
In other words, don't take PR. Oh, and hi, Zay. Amazing that this is the 4th episode of the show I've covered, and this is the first one you've showed up in. And it's only in the last act. Fucking racists. He tells Lucas he has to choose between the 2 girls, but before we get to that, we gotta do a class prank.
We stole something from school.
You what?
We captured the real John Quincy Adams mascot.
What did you guys do?
We stole you.
We're selling you to the Mexican slave trade. No, they're getting him promoted to teaching high school so we can teach them a few more things.
So the parents put together a little petition, got some signatures, and we presented it to them.
How many parents?
All of them.
Nice gesture, but you maybe should have run this through with him first. Otherwise, it has the feel of a public proposal. Sweet, but pressurizing. He of course accepts, and now Lucas can finally choose. He really doesn't. They just say they like each other and then sit there in silence. Well, good thing there was another season, I guess. This episode is sweet, but realistically sweet. It feels genuine. The problems that the characters are going through, from relationship drama to getting ready to move on to a new chapter, are actually things that kids are going through, and it handles them well. Unlike The Bay Window, which felt like it was forcing a conflict on them that didn't need to happen, this just feels more real. And it's also a lot funnier. Sure, there are some dry spots with no laughs, but when it does get funny, it's really funny. It's the perfect example of showing that when this series was at its best, it could be really hilarious, but also dramatic at the same time and do both very well. It has the laughs, but it also has the heart, and shows how things can change in a way that isn't contrived. Eventually, we all have to move on. No matter how much you loved something, things have to come to an end, and... What the... Oh no.